Hey everybody, happy Thursday. It's Sarah. Thanks for flying with me here. Unfortunately, I had to make an audible. I have an event tonight at 7. I'm going to see Pearl Jam, so I had to move this back a little bit, and unfortunately it didn't work for the guests that we had in mind. So I will get her back on. I really love that rescue. They rescue a lot of broken chihuahuas and save a lot of animals in Florida, some that have become famous on the internet. So I really can't wait to have Lisa on at some point. So thanks for rolling with me. This actually worked out well because tomorrow is actually I'm not crying. I'm not gonna cry tonight. Tomorrow is if you're listening to this, it would be today on Friday. It's the 8-year anniversary of Rue's death. Who is Rue? So some of you, since I've had this podcast come back, may not know. If you're a new listener, for those of you that have known me for a few years, you're probably sick of hearing about it. But it is important to keep his memory alive, because what he has provided for so many other people is hope, which is it's something that one of the people that we helped, who paid $80,000 for her animal, who we were able to help. She said, that's one of the best gifts that you can give is some hope. So anyway, I had to give a presentation recently for a huge event that we're part of called Midwest Fur Fest, which will be the end of November into December. We're the charity partner. I can't say enough about the organization. I was so nervous to give the presentation. I worked on it for many, many days, weeks even. And I knew that we really wanted it, but we have the opportunity to raise a lot of money, up to $100,000 and even more. So I'll be talking about that a lot more closer to November. But I did kind of put together like this little video about the story of Rue. So I figured this might be a good time now, just so we can kind of start from there, and then I can tell you where we are today. But yeah, tomorrow is the 8-year anniversary of his death. So this was actually Easter Sunday, 2015, when I met him. On Easter Sunday, 2015, we went to an open admission shelter called Chicago Animal Care and Control, where we were looking for a foster dog. We scanned the aisles of hopeless dogs, just wanting us to take them out of their cages, and they were all jumping for attention. And then we approached a cage, and there was a dog laying down, and it immediately caught our attention because he was so calm and quiet and just looked at us with his big old eyes. So we decided to take him out. His name was Cisco. His owner surrendered him because he was having issues urinating. And as soon as we got him outside, we saw why. It took him about 5 minutes to empty his bladder. Yay, buddy! We decided to rescue him, and we renamed him Roosevelt and called him Rue for short. He was filled with the dog flu at that time. It was really rampant in Chicago, and especially shelters. So we had to find a vet to quarantine him for a bit. Once he was over the flu, we took him to get some teeth removed. And during that dental procedure, they found out that he had bone cancer. I got the call when I was driving to work on 90, and I had to pull over. I was devastated. I felt so alone. I didn't know what we were going to do. But unfortunately, his cancer diagnosis was terminal. Chemo would not work. So we decided to give him a bucket list and live every day like it was his last. Hence the term, live like Rue. And did he ever? And after 6 months of living his very best life, Rue passed away, leaving a legacy in his path. The best. So if you're listening to the podcast, go to YouTube, look for Sarah Lauk or Unmuzzled, the podcast. You can see that video. But I do think it told the story kind of succinctly. I sometimes drone on and on, but obviously Rue meant a lot to me, and he now means a lot to so many other people. Before we do anything else, I do need to give a little shout out to the sponsors who I so appreciate. Unmuzzled is presented by the following sponsors. Bark Pouch. Bark Pouch believes there's no greater joy than a delightful time with your dog or dogs, plural. We like a lot of dogs around here. So they make irresistible lickable treats that are easy to use while walking, training, grooming, familying, friending, and even vet visits. Check them out, barkpouch.com. Kiki's Corner Natural Pet Foods in downtown Winfield, Illinois, just a block south of CDH Hospital on the railroad tracks. Kiki's has all your food and health aid needs for dogs and cats. Kiki's Corner for a healthy, happy pet. Canine Cruise is the place to take your pet. They offer dog and cat boarding, dog daycare, pet retail, and mindful day school. With over 12,000 square feet of indoor space and a spacious yard, they are the one-stop shop for professional pet care in Chicago. Thank you, sponsors. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I support you all the way that you support me, so thank you. So back to Rue. So like I said, it was 2015. We were at Chicago Animal Care and Control. He was, you see the picture there. If you're watching the video, you'll see the picture on the left. He was actually laying down in his cage when we came by. And the picture on the right is when I went to take him back and put him back into his cage. He did not want to go. So that's kind of like one of the more iconic photos. It's just him not wanting to go back in. It's really what made me fall in love with him. He was a gem of a dog, just seriously amazing. But we knew something was medically wrong with him. His teeth also were really ground down. So whoever his owner was either leaving him out in a crate and he was fighting on that, or rocks. We'll never really know, but he needed to have a ton of teeth removed, unfortunately. But he really did live life to the fullest. An Instagram follower named Judy actually coined that phrase. She hashtagged it when we were on our bucket list adventures, and it became what we were doing. We were living like Rue every day. Like, you never, know when it's your last. So you're going to live like him. So the Waldorf Astoria, a follower and friend, got us a room there. Rue walked into the Waldorf Astoria in Chicago and peed on the couch in the lobby. The entire staff, we were so apologetic. The entire staff was just amazing. We went on a bunch of hikes. This is Starved Rock. Josh Feeney took some pictures there. Just so many things. Big Star, that's us hiking. We had an actual party for him at Party Animals where people brought gifts for him and were able to meet him. That was a bit before he died. That was probably like about a month before. And that's him and I walking down Oak Street when we were staying at the Waldorf. He had a tie on there. We did a little photo shoot. It was with Josh too. Just amazing. And then, just running and so happy. He loved to swim. So he loved Starved Rock a lot. Actually, this was not Starved Rock. This was I don't know, remember the name of that dog park somewhere in the burbs. But he loved that. So that was truly the best time. I mean, I remember wishing that he would make it to Christmas. And a lot of times the question I get, by the way, if anybody has questions, please feel free to ask them. I can see the questions here on this interface that I have. So a lot of the questions that I get, or I should say, one of the main questions we get, and I know Laura, our medical director, gets a lot. It's like, how do you know when it's time? And that is so hard to answer, but there's a quality of life scale that I follow. For Rue, he would go into my backyard and would not engage. He stopped eating. It's a hard thing. And this is a good actually opportunity for me to mention that we are partnering with Pet Loss Community. So some vets, some psychologists, and I'm gonna have more on it. I don't want to talk too much about it without knowing exactly what I'm saying, but it's an amazing support group where you can get on a Zoom with people going through the same thing. There's a Facebook group. There's also one-on-ones. So what Live Like Rue is going to do is we are going to pay for people that need that help. So I know so many of my friends, obviously people that we've helped via Live Like Rue, they could really use that. I think it's also really hard when you live alone. And then that one source of companionship is gone. I was fortunate enough to be married at that time. But there are a lot of people that their dogs are their family, or their cats, or their guinea pigs. I mean, we've helped all kinds of animals. So this support group is absolutely incredible. I feel honored that they are allowing us to be part of it. They're giving us a nice discount, but to me, the money doesn't matter. Like when you need that person to talk to, or to be in a Zoom group with people going through the exact same thing as you. And a lot of what they talk about is that anticipatory grief, which I have all the time with my dogs. I can't, because there has been so much loss, because we've taken so many dogs and hospice dogs, that thought of that day and that moment, okay, I'm not going to cry tonight, but and they mention this is sometimes even worse than the actual grief from losing an animal. So again, that's a partnership that's coming. We're going to announce it in a few days. You guys will see it. I feel so honored to be part of that group now, where we can, if somebody's really struggling, we can say, hey, we have this resource and we will pay for it for you. It's really, really such an important thing. So yeah, 8 years ago, Rue passed away. And I feel like it's odd, because I feel like that seems like so long ago, but I feel like this foundation is still new, but it's not. And that day was hard. I think it's hard too for those of you that have dogs that people are kind of hanging on every moment of. And it doesn't have to be like a famous dog. It can be your family and your friends, that have learned to love this dog because of what you've done and what you've posted. That is hard to break that news to people. And it's almost like it hits you twice, because you are hit with the grief of losing the animal. And then you have to break the news to other people that this is happening. And that sometimes is a lot harder. But I just, again, we can't do this. I don't like, the only reason that we have this foundation is because of our donors. So, and our supporters. A lot of times people are like, how do you make money? I'm like, we have the most amazing donors. And, occasionally we get corporate sponsorships or big donations near the end of the year, but we don't have adoptable animals. And I'm not saying like rescues are making money off adoptable animals. They're not. They're a lot of times they're losing money because of the medical that the animal needs. But we don't have this like constant source of income where we really do rely on our donors and our monthly donors and people that attend our events and people that are, even if you can just share our content, because God knows right now Facebook is a really tough place. But I do want to brag a little bit, because when you see what we did in year one and then look at 2022, it is pretty remarkable. And I remember in 2016 being like, oh, we gave out a lot of money. We sent a lot of care packages. I had no idea what was coming. And you can see in 2017, it kind of went backwards a little bit. I'm not even sure why. I think, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know to surround myself with people. And then when you see that jump, it's just crazy when we get to 500 and 2022 to hit that number. And I think that number is even just a little bit off. We just finished our audit. So I'm not going to lie, 2023 has been a struggle. It's going to continue to be a struggle until we get to the end of the year in FurFest, which I can't wait for. But the other big question that I constantly get that I think this is a good platform to answer on is, how do you start a 501c3? What advice do you have for me? I'll tell you right now, it's easy to start the 501c3. It's easy to do the paperwork and get legal and, make sure that everything is filed with the state. The hard part is keeping it going and fundraising and surrounding yourself with good people and making sure that your donors know that you appreciate them. I reply to every single donation that comes in personally and say thank you, if it's electronic donation or a mail check. You have to keep those people around. They're important and they literally keep us afloat. But if I had known, how much sadness that we sometimes would deal with, and it is a lot, and how much of the bureaucracy, taxes, audits, all of the stuff that it starts as your passion, right? Like, I want to help people, I want to help animals, but stuff that you have to do beyond that is a lot. It's a lot. And it was really a lot when I was doing a full-time job and trying to run Live Like Rue. So that part of it is hard. One of my favorite things that we do, that Vicki, we have a care package director, is send cancer care packages. And there is absolutely nothing better than getting one of these when you're absolutely floored by a cancer diagnosis. And these, are each worth about $70 if you add everything up, including the blanket and the gift card and everything. But they are priceless. And we also do cats. Dawn from Lulu's Locker helps us with the cat care packages because we just don't know enough about cats. But they are undoubtedly one of the biggest and best things we do. And if we somehow end up having, not being able to grant money eventually, I will somehow keep that going. I hope that Live Like Rue is around forever, but there's no telling what can happen, and especially right now in this economy. So again, it's the 8-year anniversary of his death. We've helped a ton of people, just so everybody knows. So it started in February 2016. I had been sending cancer care packages, like I just mentioned. I wonder if my microphone is this better. Shoots. My microphone was way over here. This is what happens when I don't have a guest. See, like, it's just me. Like, I'm sorry if you guys couldn't hear me. I wish you would have told me, though. Oh, man. Anyway, I was sending cancer care packages on my own dime. So the shipping got to be a lot. The blankets got to be a lot. The care packages got to be a lot. So I decided, let's make this official. And it basically came to be in February 2016. So that's our anniversary. It'll be 7 this coming year. No, 2016, 12. It'll be 8. Right. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, so this podcast is actually going on more pages than it normally does too, because I decided, why not put it on the Live Like Rue pages. So the foundation started, and it was me to start with, and then I onboarded Laura Krill pretty quickly. She's our medical director, so she's been here pretty much since the beginning. I didn't know at that point I needed an accountant, so I was doing all of that, and I did have actually a great accountant at that point. Jean, thank you. But I needed more help and more people. It quickly grew. So yeah, it was insane. And thank you, Erin, for the self-confidence boost. And then when you look at where we've been today, since then today, it is remarkable to see how many people we've helped. And again, cats, dogs, horses, ferrets, rabbits. We helped a rat recently. It really does mean a lot to me how many people care and how many people share and how many people reach out. I do hope everybody knows that, again, it doesn't have to be a monetary donation. It can be coming to Roof Fest, which is free, and coming to say hi and buy some raffle tickets. Those things go a long way. So that's kind of my spiel about Live Like Rue. If you can donate anything tomorrow, I would really appreciate it. We usually do 8 for 8. But some of my favorite stories I just wanted to share. And again, these have the Midwest Fur Fest logo on because it was part of my presentation. Buddy is a dog. For those of you that have followed the Live Like Rue page for a while, you know Ethan. Ethan is in the Navy, and unfortunately, Buddy had a cancer diagnosis, and they were able to get him chemo and some other treatments, but unfortunately, Buddy did pass away while Ethan was overseas. So Ethan did not get to say goodbye to him. So we started a fund called Buddy's Heroes in Buddy's honor. And if you look at the picture, if you're watching the video, you can see us presenting that painting of the logo that Claire Jacks did at prom this year, and they were just blown away. So they have a special fund now. And we are looking for anybody in the military that has an animal with cancer. We can cover them under Buddy's Heroes. So really, really an important fund. I love funds, and we would have like 20 if people didn't stop me. And then again, we've helped pigs too, and there's the rat and horses. So all of those are really important. This is one of my favorite stories, and Beth, Frank's mom, is just incredible. So Titan is the dog, and he is a service dog for Frank. He helps him with not only his day-to-day life. He used to go to school with him, but he also detects seizures, and Titan has cancer. So Titan is still alive. I got an email from his mom today because I asked them if they could be at Fur Fest with us, and she's cannot wait. She's honored. And they actually went to the beach, to Myrtle Beach, I believe, and he got a break from his chemo, and they all got to go into the ocean. And so Titan got a little break from all of the chemo that he has to go through, which is awesome. Just these are the type of animals that we help. And again, Titan's an expensive dog for us, but we got him. We're going to be with him every step of the way because he deserves it. And Frank needs him, frankly. I mean, he needs him to live. So Piglet is another one that many of you know. She was in the shelter for over a year. She had a huge mass on her side. I went to the vet with her. Tony had reached out on social media looking for help. And Piglet had that mass removed, and it was doing great. Unfortunately, the cancer kept coming back. She actually needed an amputation on her leg. We got her a wagon, and her savior adopter there, Kristen, amazing. Another just amazing story of, from shelter to end of life. Unfortunately, we wish those stories would end up just a little bit better, and a better outcome. But, getting her out of the shelter was so important, making sure, that she had the best care possible, which she wasn't, unfortunately, getting at the shelter. It's, the shelters can't do all of that. So, and then Sugar Mama, who many of you remember, lost her recently, but she was at Chicago Animal Care and Control. She had, I think Dr. Arbogast counted like 30 masses on her mammary chain that you can see her at the vet. And she, we were able to remove some of those. She lived with cancer for 2 years, I think over 2 years, and was able to see her mom, Lauren, graduate. So those success stories are the reason that we keep going. There are such hard days in this organization, like really, really tough days, but this is why we do what we do. And I think, when you kind of see the progress that we've made each year, it gives you hope for the next year. This year has been really rough, and I know it's been rough for everybody, not just us, and many nonprofits, many individuals, many businesses. It's been really, really brutal. So I'm hoping we have a little end of the year bounce back. That's kind of what I'm asking for. If you can donate $8, I really appreciate it. If you can donate $80, I really, really appreciate it. But we appreciate every single cent. And I want everybody to know, like, if you can't donate, it's okay. If you can just share our post tomorrow in honor of Sweet Rue, because I definitely miss him. And I know that so many people who followed his story and know the legacy that he created, miss him too. And I sometimes have to redirect this organization and say, hey, just a reminder, like, this guy is why we're all here. You know, he's the reason. And it's really, really important to remember the tagline, which is live like Rue. It's live every single day like it's your last. Anyway, this was like kind of an impromptu podcast. Oh, Nikki, thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. Yes, I know, Aaron, you feel this. And thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. It's sweet. And thank you. You know, like Christine, she had Chloe, one of the first dogs that ever got a care package. That picture, I still have it. And it's crazy because I sent the care packages, and I remember building that in like probably late 2015, early 16. Christine, correct me if I'm wrong. It's unbelievable. And Christine is one of our biggest supporters. It's just the people that give back after we've given them something means so much to me. Like, you have my whole heart. And the thing is like, you didn't forget. Like, you didn't forget what we did for you. And no matter how big or small it is, if it's 2016, that's what I thought. If it's a care package, you know, if it's an amputation that cost us $8,000, like, those people usually become monthly donors. And I really, really, really appreciate that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And we appreciate that. The board really appreciates that. The staff appreciates that. Again, a lot of what we see is sadness. So to get those, I'm going to cry. Thank you, Lisa. Hey, hi, Holly. Okay. I said I wasn't going to cry, guys. I know, Christine, awesome. I miss her too. Chloe was the best. And Chloe made it to a dog wedding, for God's sakes. Christine, that was awesome. My Chihuahua got married. Anyway, thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you for allowing me this platform, which is usually supposed to be for other guests, but unfortunately I had to, again, shuffle a bit. But thank you for listening. And thank you to Rue for creating such an amazing legacy. And thank you to our staff and our board, who, without them, we do not exist. Same with the donors and supporters. So speaking of supporters, here we go. Our supporting sponsors. I'm going to go cry. We can't do this podcast without our following supporting sponsors. Twin Tails Market and Barkery is a local family-owned business that has been serving the community for close to 7 years. Located in Palos Park, Twin Tails has everything you need to give your dogs and cats healthy and natural foods, treats, chews, toys, and much, much more. You can find them at twintailsmarket.com and on Facebook and Instagram at Twin Tails Market. The Canine PT specializes in helping senior dogs improve their independence with their daily routine as they age, heal, or recover post-surgery through exercise, massage, laser, and acupuncture, so they can live their golden years without the need for pain medication. Brilliant work you're doing, Canine PT. Anything is Possible is Chicago's premier dog training company. I have sent so many people to Anything is Possible. They offer group classes for every stage of your dog's life and have a talented team of behavior specialists to work through any issues that need modification using positive reinforcement. Liz Starks at Guaranteed Rate. Check with Liz for the absolute best mortgage options. She helps when others can't and even calls it rescue loans. Buyers, sellers, or investors, give Liz a call. She can lend in all 50 states. NMLS number 224526. Kimberly King Photography. Kimberly is a professional photographer from Chicago who loves animals as much as you do. That's a lot. Her pet portraiture celebrates pure love, connection, and the beauty of life with our furry loved ones by our side. Canine Therapy Corps. Give back and volunteer with your dog at Canine Therapy Corps. Volunteer teams empower and motivate individuals through goal-directed, animal-assisted therapy services free of charge across Chicagoland. Visit caninetherapycorps.org for more information. Thank you, supporting sponsors. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Lisa. Yes, I can't wait to see everybody at Roof Fest. If you are local to the area, we will be in Winthrop Harbor on September 17th. Roof Fest, your dog can swim from 1 to 3. We've got amazing vendors. Trisha Hansen will be there. Treat Diva. Thank you, Trisha. And Capture the Moment Photography is my other partner in this huge event. It is going to be amazing. The weather, I've been stalking the forecast. It's going to be 75, I think, and partly cloudy, or 78 maybe. But we don't care. We've had rain and we've still done it. It's the best event. So I hope that you guys come out to that. And we have a ton of other events coming up. We have a holiday show at Joe's on Weed Street live. We usually do it virtual. We will still have the virtual holiday show, but we are going to do a live in-person show at Joe's on Weed. I'll have more on that soon. Next week, you guys, Michelle Schaefer-Stevens. Okay, if you don't know Aladdin, unfortunately, he passed away, but the stuff that she's doing in Laddie's honor is amazing. I'm sure that many of you know who he is. I got to see Michelle when I was at the Jersey Shore a few weeks ago, and we caught up. She gave me an awesome t-shirt. But Laddie's legacy lives on, and I really wanted to have her on and kind of update. I was on her podcast before. I wanted to update everybody on what she's doing now, which is really, really amazing. Thank you for hanging with me and having me kind of pull this together quickly. Rue lives on, and I'm so thankful to everybody that supports us. I can't thank you enough. Have a great night. I will see you next week.